The 5 steps for scaling startups. How and when to scale a startup is where too many startup CEOs fail. They either wait too long to scale and their startup loses momentum, or the CEO moves too quickly and burns through their cash and the startup fails. I don't want this to happen to you, and that's what today's video is all about. In today's video, I'm going to explain the 5 steps for scaling startups, why these steps are so important, and then finally, when you should implement these steps. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise your money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. Now let's start with a story. I'll never forget it. About 8 months into my company's operational life, I was finishing up our board meeting. Our first product was being readied for launch, right on schedule, and our investors were very happy with our progress. One of our investors, Raul, asked me, "Why are you holding hiring flat?" He just didn't understand it. So I explained that we were holding hiring flat because we wanted to extend our financial runway until we saw revenue growing. Raul looked at me and said, "Don't worry, we'll support you." A classic VC saying. I'm going to get back to this later in today's video. However, scaling your startup is usually related to scaling your team. So let's start with key number 1. It takes people to scale, so recruiting your team from day 0 is paramount. You always want to be one step ahead as a CEO. So, even if you don't need people at the start, you're going to need people at some point pretty quickly. That's why you want to be always recruiting. For most startups, including ours, the focus was on hiring engineers. But here's where you can get into trouble. Let's say you need 5 engineers in the next 12 months, and you hire these engineers so you've reached your goal. Then you stop hiring and you stop recruiting and interviewing. That's where you get into trouble. You want to always be recruiting. You can always ask a great engineer to join your startup later. Or more likely, you might find the engineer will want to join you in 6 months or a year when they finish up the project they're working on. It's always happened to us. And that's perfect because now you have a flow of new hires ready to join your startup. Now, not all of them will join, but the majority will join your startup. This simple strategy of always be recruiting helps you scale. Now let's move on to key number 2. It takes money to scale, so know the trade-offs of growth versus your cash. Now this seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Sales are growing, but you need money to grow. Now how can that be? Let me explain the reasons. Easy. You can have cash issues because of your cash collection. For example, let's say you have net 30 terms for any order. That means customers don't have to pay for 30 days after they've received your product or service. Or let's say you are manufacturing a product and you have inventory to build that product. Now that inventory requires cash. Or let's say you need to hire more people to design, develop, and build your products. Again, more money is required. So the remedy here is to develop a detailed financial plan. Then you and your fractional controller can look at the various scenarios and decide on a best case, a median case, and a worst case plan for your startup. Now, speaking of controllers, here comes key number 3. Know what to scale at the right time. There are certain hires you want to make early in your startup's lifetime, and there are certain hires you want to delay. Here are two that you want to delay. The first is hiring a CFO. Notice I said you and your fractional controller in key number 2. Most startups don't need a CFO when they are just starting up. In fact, most startups don't need a CFO until they're well beyond $1 million in ARR. So you can save money by hiring a part-time controller like I did. There are many really good part-time controllers that you can find to help you. The second is hiring a VP of sales, and this relates directly to scaling and managing your sales organization. Let's say you're getting some initial customers through your own efforts. That's great. But now you're thinking that you want to have a VP of sales to run sales and grow the sales team, which is just you at this point. I know that sounds logical, but it's a mistake. And let me explain why it's a mistake. You will not find anyone good to be your VP of sales until your revenue is well beyond $1 million ARR. You'll have to be closer to $10 million ARR to find somebody good. So, what do you do before you hit those numbers, but you want to expand your reach? You need a repeatable sales process. When you think you have that, with just you doing the selling, then hire 2 salespeople. Then see if they can follow the process. You'll probably still be needed to close deals depending upon the size of the deals. Then you can hire a sales VP to expand the team once revenue gets closer to $10 million. Next is key number 4. Know your gating item. Now there's an exercise I learned years ago that I like to have every startup CEO I work with do. It's called the 10x exercise. Here's how it works. Look at your business at 10x the size you are now. If you're at 100K ARR, for example, then you'd look at what your business looked like at $1 million ARR. If you're at $1 million ARR, then you look at the business at $10 million ARR. You get the idea. When you look at the business at this larger size, imagine the organization at a larger size. What will it look like? How much money do you need to get there? Who do you have to replace? This is how you determine what are the gating items to scale. Finally, we get to key number 5. Know your limitations. Don't let investors push you to grow faster than you should. Let's go back to my conversation with Raul at the board meeting. Raul wanted me to hire faster than I wanted to, and he said his investment fund, would support me. Now that's the classic VC statement. However, is this the same as actually supporting me? Raul left out the final part of that statement. In full, it sounds like this. We'll support you until we decide not to support you. In other words, you have to run and scale your company the way you think is right, not the way investors are telling you. Investors are famous for wanting you to grow fast, but what if you can't hire enough good people and you start hiring B players instead of A players? That's how companies start failing. I've seen this happen in companies I've been involved in. Don't let this happen to you. It's the road to failure. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. Now, what did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now I have one more thing for you today. It's my free startup pitch deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Click the link below today's video and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the video at the end of today's video. If you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get notified every time I release a new video. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.